Hi, my name is Marisa Rappard. I'm a drawing artist from the Netherlands. In my drawings, murals, and installations, I investigate the impact technology has on our social behavior. Already as a child, I was always drawing. I grew up in a small village in the north, and I guess I was a solitary child. I would spend a lot of my time writing stories and drawing comics. So drawing to me has always been a way to express myself through narrative, to make thoughts and feelings visual. And being positioned outside of the group, especially in high school, has trained me to be an observer, I guess, and to be sensitive to different kinds of behavior and different kinds of perspectives. It made me sensitive to effects like exclusion, judgment, loss of contact, or shame. So when I see the effect that social media have on the private becoming public and the judgment of the other, polarization, or the loss of calm face-to-face contact, this is something I really want to address. At the same time, I guess, growing up in a small church and conscious of God, I am now also interested in how people can have such hopeful expectations of technology that they hope to be uploaded and saved forever. The cloud being like a God that knows and remembers all and everyone. To me, that sounds almost like the religion that I saw in my youth. I guess it varies who my biggest influences are from time to time. I remember seeing the work of Cecily Brown had a huge impact on me. I was trained as an illustrator, and seeing her work opened up so much possibilities to me as to how to organize the image, the apparent chaos that it is, and at the same time so carefully structurized, the mixture of abstraction and figuration. But really my work is fed by all sorts of influences, not just one specific one. When I start drawing, my hand follows my thinking, and my thinking follows my hand in an associative interplay. And drawing to me is like breathing. When I draw in my sketchbook, anything around me that moves me or that has my interest may trigger a drawing. The news or a photo I found on the internet, a philosophical book, a Netflix series, or a graphic novel. I also look at a lot of art, really anything from outsider art to Bruce Nauman. Music is also a great source of inspiration for me. I listen to music all the time while I work in my studio. It's mostly electronic music, abstract music that helps me to tune in to a sense of movement that I search for in my work. In my images, I show the flow of data, fast pace of information flow, the feeling of encountering an overwhelming amount of information on the internet. My drawings often feel like they're a freeze frame in this movement, and music helps me to tune into this movement. Lately, I've also been looking a lot at the work of the cubists and futurists like Fernand Léger, because I feel like in their work there's also this sense of movement, of fast pace and machinery, a mixture of man and machine that was relevant then and is also relevant now in a different way. Especially visual elements that the cubists use, like shapes that repeat or that collide sharply or partially overlap. This is something I learned from them. And I use it as a visual means to show different realities and perspectives simultaneously. This way I emphasize the feeling that you can have of plunging from one reality into another online. And right now I'm working on a series of works that are organized like this, like a desktop with many tabs open. Some of the tabs are filled with abstraction, others with figuration or text. And each drawing within this large drawing has its own opinion or story, its own tone of voice, gesture, and material. And also lately I started experimenting with other techniques than drawing. For example, in juxtaposing digital ways of making to manual ways of making, or letting the machine reproduce something that I made manually. So I'm experimenting with digital collages and machine woven fabrics, works in ceramics and on canvas. The biggest challenge of an artist, well, I guess, at least for me, is probably to be in the now, to be present and act in the now while I'm making. Most mornings when I start working, I first have to brush off little devils on my shoulder that make me doubt if my work is good enough or remind me of critical comments I heard in the past. I pay these voices attention and then I kindly ask them to go away. Because to make good work, I have to feel free to take risk, to try out new things and allow the work to maybe even fail. And these judgmental voices with all their opinions can get very much in the way of this. So to make, I have to feel that I am in an open space where I can enter in an open dialogue with the work that I make, so that the image can emerge that I had not expected beforehand. Because the greatest joy of making to me is when the image can emerge as it is and surprise me. The best reaction I once got to my artwork is from someone who has bought a large drawing of mine and installed it in her living room. She described to me how it's almost a physical experience for her to wander around in the image, and how she loves to go from an abstract image to a narrative image to text. She said to me that it's like traveling through her own body while watching, and traveling through her own sense of being, emotions and thoughts. And this is something I thought was really beautiful, and I guess this is also what I look for in all my images, to create an open space where I invite people to reflect on their own state of being in this day and age.